Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
I'll be back.
And we are back, and Ellie is texting. Who are you texting?
I'm actually looking up some information about the history that Kyle gives Sarah Connor in this scene.
And why is that? Because it's a 2-minute Terminator. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Episode 23, dear listener. We're on minute 44 to 46 of 2-minute Terminator, where we take apart the Terminator franchise one film at a time, 2 minutes at a time. Joe Tucker.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be joining you in your studios at the top of the Shard.
If only.
What have you?
How are you, Ellie?
I'm really good, thank you.
Thanks for coming back on the show.
I am the fucking show.
Can you refund my transport costs for every time I come and do one of these shows?
Expenses will
Yes.
not be paid, I'm really sorry.
You have to pay 10 quid to get into the Shard. It's a ball ache.
Really?
No, I just made that
Although
up.
apparently on the Shard,
Is the Shard London's tallest building now?
It was the tallest
Possibly.
building in Europe for 2 weeks
Whoa.
until another building that was taller.
Top of the world, Ma.
Top of the world, Mark. But yeah, apparently
Hey,
with the
see?
toilets, they're just glass, so you can be shitting and just looking out.
And strangely enough, the nothing. Sorry.
Go on, say it.
I was just going to make up some bullshit about the Shard being featured in the new Terminator Genesis movie.
Fuck,
And
we
was
should have
gonna
said that.
It was going to be a lie.
It
A lie
was
is a
going
lie.
to be a lie. So,
The
Hi.
next 2 minutes.
yes, I'm Ethan McKinley. You can find me at ethanmckinley.com. You can find Joe at...
I think that every single episode giving out your bloody email address is just going to piss off regular listeners.
I know.
But this is what Ethan does. He
This is what
pushes.
Ethan does.
Okay.
Have you
Slavish
not? Are you
self-promotion.
friends
I'm
with him
still
on
not
Facebook?
selling anything.
The Arthur and Merlin link. I must have seen about 50
Arthur and Merlin, of course. That's
million
comedian Ethan McKinley. I'm in a film called
Fucking
Arthur and
hell.
Merlin, The Legend Begins, and you can buy it online at arthurandmerlin.co.uk.
Because that movie needed thing needed a remake, right? Let's have another Merlin movie.
It's better than Terminator 1. How's that? It'll cost you
And it only
$2.25 to buy it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So it's cheap.
£1.50.
It's not even an expensive mistake if you don't like it.
How many euros does it cost?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably euros is more than pounds, isn't it?
Yes. Actually, it
Probably
depends what the
3.50 euros.
Yeah, 1.3.
I know. I
something
went on
like
currency converter. It's $2.25 to buy it, so it's dirt cheap. It's such a fun adventure movie. It's great. I play Torquil, the leader of the Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that.
Joe's
I'm going to reaffirm my point that I'm not selling anything. I'm not pushing anything. And for people that have listened to us talking about Terminator, who are keen for us to get on with Terminator, I feel your pain.
You can find Joe on Twitter at JoJo's Dojo,
You can.
and Ellie is just Ellie.
I'm just me.
So we are in the car. They've escaped from the Terminator. They're hiding in a parking lot, and Reese is explaining to Sarah essentially the future war.
Everything is gone.
Indeed. His acting is impeccable.
Now, at this point, why do you think she's trusting him? Now she's bitten him because Terminators don't feel pain. I do.
I think it's his commitment.
And charisma.
Yeah.
Or is she just because she couldn't escape the car because he'll just grab her? She's just
Yeah.
like playing along.
Plus, I
Would-
think now she's thinking he's kind of hot. Like in the last
Yeah.
episode, we established that they're building this like weird sexual
Yeah.
tension.
I mean, would
and
she
now
still
she's
be in
like,
the car?
yeah, damn, I'm feeling this.
Would
thing.
she still be in the car if he didn't have any boobs?
Exactly.
You know, it's a question.
I
Look
don't
at
know.
her positioning. She's
Would
a
you
burnt
believe his story
version.
so far? This raving lunatic, bearing in mind, you know,
If I'd
you're
just
in real
seen
life.
some dude get shot and then get up, and
Yeah.
then I'd think anything's possible.
Yeah. Plus, I think all of us will be quite keen to be involved in some kind of seismic, life-changing science fiction.
Yeah,
event.
she's the mother of
you
the
know?
future.
He could be though, just wearing a bulletproof vest, the Terminator. So it could be just or be a put on by these
It's
two.
just April Fools.
Well, what if they're working together in cahoots? These are the phone book killers. One pretends to be the savior, and one pretends to be the killer.
Yeah.
And actually, they're actually both. That's
This
what I
has
would
given
think.
me an idea.
For a future script.
Well, no. Why don't we just like take over someone's life and pretend that they're in some science fiction, stage some massive? Why don't people do? You've seen the game with is it Michael Douglas, right?
Kirk Douglas. Yeah, no, Michael Douglas. Great movie, 1998 by David Fincher.
Yeah.
Released by Columbia Pictures, I believe.
Nobody cares about that, but it's good that you said it.
Yeah, when the TV starts talking to him, that's freaky as hell. Great bit.
Didn't see the war. I was born after, in the ruins. Grew up there, starving, hiding from the HKs. You could say that in a northern accent, couldn't you?
This is
I didn't see the war.
I was going to say, this is
ruins.
the Willie Russell version, the educating Rita version,
Well,
the kitchen sink drama.
I love that movie.
Oh, before the war, there were machines.
Grew up there,
Oh,
starving.
starving they were.
Hiding from the HKs. The what? The hunter killers.
You wouldn't know you'd bloody been born.
Patrol machines. Built-in automated factories. Most of us were rounded up. Put in camps for orderly disposal. Burned in by laser scan.
Kyle, where's our mother? She's down the pit again.
Collecting ammunition to kill Terminator. Sorry about my accent.
No, it's good. Ellie, you appear to be Googling something. What are you trying to find?
She's been Googling for hours.
You're like itching to say something to the listeners. What is it?
I'm just looking up the history that Kyle is giving Sarah in the car.
It's actually not on his wicker. He's just bullshitting her.
Sergeant Carl Reese is a resistance soldier from the TechCom, serial number DN38416.
It's a classic.
From 2021,
DN38416.
which actually isn't really that far away now.
He plays those numbers for the lottery every week as
To
well.
2027, he served with the 132nd under Justin Perry, whoever the fuck that is. Joined the leader of the resistance, John Connor's TechCom fighting unit, where he was assigned a security. So it just kind of
A security or assigned security.
I'm pleased to let you know as well, and I know a lot of our listeners will be interested in the transportational elements of this movie.
Yes.
That it's actually a brown Buick that they've been driving.
Not
around.
a Lincoln Town Car, which
Not a
I
Lincoln
said
Town
it
Car.
was. A Lincoln Continental.
And again, that's information pulled from the script, which is
well,
useful.
we've already seen the script and the image. Don't always marry up, so it still might be
This
there.
is
might
true.
change it.
But yeah, Carl Reese was a human resistance soldier in the post-apocalypse future when most of humanity had actually already been wiped out in a deadly nuclear Third World War, sparked off by artificial intelligence entity known as Skynet.
Speaking on the future war, we've discussed this, but Joe hasn't because he's only recently joined the episodes.
Hi.
How would they survive in the future war? Where would they get their weapons from? How would they eat? 'Cause it looks like a desolate wasteland of nuclear winter.
Yeah,
How
just
would
like
you-
cans of baked beans left
You'd have to
over.
have
They've
a few
obviously-
thousand resistance pockets all over the world fighting this. Like, how would they ever beat this thing?
I think that the entire human race's current supply of canned food, if only consumed by the small surviving percentage, would probably last for a significant period of time.
Yeah, but there's always some greedy horde who'd
What
like...
percentage of the population?
Not if
kill
it's from
everyone.
Lidl.
Humans are corruptible. At least the machines aren't.
Do you know what percentage of the population is supposed to have been destroyed in the initial Skynet attack? How many people are left?
That's a good question.
Because I mean,
Let's have a look. The
Early
final
complainer.
assault would eventually allow the human resistance to cripple Skynet. Resistance was able to smash Skynet's defense grid, allowing them to enter Skynet main complex in attempts to destroy it.
Having said all this, what happens if they do? And it's essentially like the Matrix, because you're just inheriting a barren wasteland.
I know.
Isn't it better to go back in the pods or be slaves to the machines?
To the machine.
I do like the taste of steak.
Exactly.
I know it's not steak, but it tastes like steak, and I think it's steak.
Ignorance is bliss.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
War against the machine.
Recognise Sarah's sneakers at this point, which are kind of like lime green laces with like yellow boots.
Her whole fashion sense just baffles me.
It's a mixed bag.
It is a
say.
mixed bag. Her jacket almost looks like the.
I love
Michael
that jacket.
Do we know
Yeah.
the Google population of the Earth in the Terminator franchise? Population of the Earth post
population.
Skynet war, or population of the Earth? Now we're just googling facts. Anyone can
Ah,
do this.
yes, I do.
Oh.
He's on it.
You're fired, Ellie.
Consequent to the nuclear exchange, over 3 billion people were killed in an event that came to be known as Judgment Day. That's obviously the initial attack. After that, there would be more dead. So let's say 3 billion left after the initial attack. Probably another billion wiped out over the next.
There's
year
9
or so,
billion,
just
isn't there?
in-
So you've got people dying from malnutrition, radiation, sickness.
Yeah.
So
So if we
1
transpose
billion?
those statistics to our
Million?
local Tesco's,
Yes.
and let's say the radius around here, let's say, what is it, like 70% of the population that go to Tesco's are wiped out. How long
Tesco's is a
could-
supermarket, I think, owned by the Walmart Group. Oh no, that's Asda. Anyway.
For our global listeners. Yeah, so I reckon, yeah. I think that the population of the resistance are purely surviving just off bags of crisps left in supermarkets. That's my answer.
Potato chips.
Pringles.
Papa Pringles.
I can imagine John Connor Guys, you take everything. Bring me the fucking Pringles. I want the Pringles.
Skynet's main objective.
What would be using as dips though? Because I guess the sauces wouldn't last because they'd just be in jars.
Robot blood.
Maybe liquidized.
Terminator.
Interesting point.
Of course, that's brilliant. That's what you could eat. You could eat or cannibalize the living flesh off the Terminators that fall.
Fucking
Okay.
hell.
That'd be a bit weird, but that's one way of doing it.
Again,
You'd have
it's
a
like
constant
steak.
supply of protein coming in. Sorry, Joe, I interrupted you. Please continue.
No, that's more interesting, actually. I mean, does that count of cannibalism?
Kind of.
And here's a further question. If technology was sufficiently advanced that we could grow through cloning bits of human body, we do have the technology, incidentally. Is it ethically wrong to cook and eat some human flesh that's been grown off a human and not part of a human? No humans would be harmed in the process.
I suppose
This is
if it was
true.
grown, the genome, you could alter it slightly so you wouldn't get, I guess, the human version of mad cow disease. Because I guess,
Does that happen?
doesn't cannibalism attach itself to these degenerative brain diseases?
Well, I
It
mean,
can do.
Or only if you eat the brain?
I'm not an expert.
The brain.
To the brain.
Again, it kind of falls under that serial killer bracket, doesn't
In
it?
Book of Eli, the cannibals all kind of get the judders, don't they? Their hands get shaky. 'Cause
They have,
eat
yeah,
human
they have a
flesh.
bit of like
But
dementia.
That's
of
not
sorts.
true. That doesn't happen. I think it's just like any other meat.
I think no, but if you eat the brain, I think if something eats the same species brain, that's when you start getting these kind of like crazy diseases.
I think that's made up.
Well, that's how mad cow disease started. 'Cause they were feeding like literally like brain matter and all the bits just like put through a blender, just like entirely minced cow, and that's why the animals were getting obviously very sick. It's something to do with eating the brain, the same species eating its own brain, which is what the listeners are doing now, listening to this podcast.
Well,
I don't think we've actually really discussed the film at all.
No, but I suppose you'd have an endless supply of food if there were Terminators around. You had the technology to stop them. You had the plasma rifles and stuff. If you shot a Terminator, you could had enough manpower to pick up the body. You could reprogram the endoskeleton and strip the flesh off it and eat the flesh.
yeah.
Resourceful.
For those people at home interested, actually, it's not technically against the law to eat human flesh.
Is it not?
Nope.
I saw some really
But,
dirty
but
video
it's,
on the
it's
internet.
that get
the other
at,
day.
isn't it? It's like legal to, I guess, smoke weed, but if you get caught with it, you're in trouble. So
Well, no, only if you're supplying it.
to eat flesh, you'd have to kill
Yeah.
someone. You're not allowed to kill
There's
someone.
definitely a kind of subculture of the human race who kind of like send each other body parts and stuff and eat bits of each other.
Yes, if anyone out there, we shouldn't really tell this, but if you Google BME Pain Olympics, and you're quite like inventive with your internet searching, you can actually find the body modification subculture, cutting off body parts, penises, nipples with bread knives and God knows what. I guess if you are a young child listening
With
to
a
this,
bread
at this
knife,
point,
that's probably not the most painful way to do
do you
it.
think we should
Yeah.
cut that? Kids
Of
will be
course,
listening to this.
January
Then again,
Jones also ate her own
placenta.
placenta after giving birth to her son.
I think lots of
Isn't
women
that quite,
do.
Yeah, I think that's quite.
It's a bit hippie in Los
It
Angeles.
is a bit.
Yeah,
and
well,
I
it's-
swear, there's a culture where like they literally have to do it.
Yeah,
There's a lot of protein and nutrients in
And in-
placenta.
there are.
And in voodoo cultures, they believe that if you eat the heart of like your victim, then you get all
Absorb their soul, their
yeah.
essence.
And also, did you know it takes 796
Twitter followers.
No.
If you use tweeping.
796 boxes of Pringles to equate to the same nutritional value as one placenta.
Wow.
Whoa.
Get your
Just
placenta.
saying. Just saying. Shout out to the Pringles guys, by the way. I'm hoping they're going to send us some free Pringles.
Placenta chips.
Placenta.
Eating Terminators with placenta chips dip. That's the name of this
I was
episode.
gonna say that is definitely the hashtag on this bad boy.
He's a lot more. Arnold is a lot more robot-y in Terminator 1, isn't he?
Yes.
And the little clip at the start of this 2-minute section,
Yeah, he moves very
Um,
mechanically.
mechanical movements, and also his face is. I don't know how he does it. I mean, he's quite a shit actor, I would say, or
But
he was in
well,
his early.
Yeah, limited. He's limited
limited
performance.
limited
of-
range,
I
right?
guess helped with this
But his
character, didn't it?
face does. Look at this. Look, watch that. Look, I think there's a lot going on in that little
There is.
flash.
Yeah, it's
of,
nice. It's a nice little scene. He hears, I guess, the police band call in that they're in the right parking lot and they've found the original car that Kyle and Sarah
I gotta
were
ditch
bundled
this
into.
car.
And he gets a new car. The Terminator hears that and is on the way. And Arnold's reaction, of course, is, according to Joe, who studied Stanislavski in New York for several years before he became an ice cream magnate. Really liked Arnold's performance there.
Cannibalism is bad
Do you
for
not-
you for a variety of ways, apparently.
Do you not think that Linda Hamilton's lips look incredibly full in this scene? I think
Oh,
she's
yeah.
had like an injection of like Botox.
I think you're developing a kind of illicit romance between.
There's
herself
elements
and-
of a face I like. It's just put together. I'm just not interested.
But
Why
I swear
not?
her lips look
Look at
bigger in
that.
this.
She's got a lovely profile, I think, on her face.
Yeah.
Side view, but full frontal.
Full
I
frontal.
don't really think she's very attractive.
I think we'd have to see the young Linda Hamilton in modern times with a decent haircut, and then you could make a good judgment. But here, it's just, I think she's just lost in this sea and framework of like split ends.
But I think if she was like super hot, it would detract away from the storyline. It's kind of nice that
She's
it's not
got
like a
to have-
stereotypically hot chick.
She does look a
She's-
bit like the girl they've cast as Sarah.
I
in
think
the
she
new
looks like
films.
Miley Cyrus. I really do.
Well, she's got a Miley Cyrus thing
No
going on.
fucking way.
Like the chipmunk cheeks, the square jaw.
Yeah, and she's got a nice element of. She looks like she could kill someone.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
that. I like that in a woman
Yeah.
anyway. That
Kind of threatening.
If you mention her hair. Well, that was a lovely sojourn through the world of Terminator. Does anyone have anything to add before I just bombard them with like
Finally,
my
we
website and
see-
a film I'm in?
Finally, we see the bite mark on his hand, by the way, and the blood.
Oh, yes.
That's
it's
appeared.
back.
It's
nice.
back.
Continuity was working. They must have shut that out of sequence then.
Yeah, must have.
Wow, the Twitter followers are pouring in. They're all popping up on my computer screen.
And why is that, Ethan?
We're not going to tell anyone. It's just because this podcast is so popular. And if you want to follow our podcast, you can go to...
Are you working on any projects at the moment, Ethan?
weirdly, yes. I'm in a film called Arthur and Merlin, The Legend Begins, and you can actually buy it online now at arthurandmerlin.co.uk.
Amazing.
And if you want to follow this podcast, it's 2 Minute Terminator on Twitter. If you want to follow it on Facebook, and please do like us because we need all the help we can get. It's 2 Minute Terminator, the podcast on Facebook. And if you want to send in pictures of your cosplay costumes, or if you want to send a voice clip or an email, you can obviously send it there. Or you can
2 Minute Terminator
which is
at gmail.com.
Yeah, which is our website. It's the number 2 Minute Terminator at gmail.com. Send us some crazy stuff, dick pics. I don't know, just send some.
But no human
crazy
body
shit.
parts.
You can't
Send that
email
as well.
a human body part.
3D printers. Who knows?
There we go.
We get a 3D printer. You send the coordinates. Send us a kidney.
We'll blend it and we'll give a review.
It tastes like Terminator. Anyway, that was episode. What episode was this? 23.
Yep.
Thank you. Joe's
Hasta
on
la
the case.
vista.
Baby. Bye.
See ya.
I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm stupid in my head. I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger.